Hi everyone, I'm Namita and I'm back with one more campus placement story. Today's story is about Radisys Corporation. Radisys is a global leader in open telecom solutions and a proud member of Reliance Industries family. Their end-to-end portfolio spans from digital endpoints to open, disaggregated access to core solutions to innumerable digital applications and engagement platforms. They visited our college on 17th and 18th of October 2022. Out of 103 participants from CS, IS, EC and EE who took part in the drive, 6 of them got hired by Radisys. The required eligibility cutoff criteria was 80% in both 10th and 12th and an average of 8 CGPA in UG. It provides a package of 11.5 LPA to the selected candidates. I congratulate all 6 of them who got placed into Radisys. We will be interviewing all of them one after the other. Please introduce yourself, Rishi.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving me an opportunity to introduce myself. I am Rishi Kitticham from Electronics and Communication Department, BIET, Davangere. I am an Android and a Java developer, currently working as an intern in API company. I have represented BIET in the Smart India Hackathon and won the first place there, and also represented BIET at India in the UNESCO India Hackathon conducted at Greater Noida, India.
Can you please share the Radisys interview experience?
Yes, sure, ma'am. We had total in the 4 rounds. First was an aptitude, second 2 were the technical rounds, and the third was HR round. In the aptitude round, we had 4 sections in which we had general aptitude, programming questions, DSA, and also on computer networks, and 2 concepts of OS operating systems also. If we're having a basic knowledge and also we have a good word on basic data, study the different techniques, we could answer them easily. It was easy for me to answer all the questions, and I was able to qualify that. And next we had 2 technical rounds. First technical round I had about an hour in which I was asked with the various questions. First I was started with the projects, which basically I have done different projects and I belong to the different domain. In electronics domain, which is completely different from this computer science domain. So they asked me about my software projects in which I had a product for an application which was an attendance capturing application for the BIT. Later few of my projects for other companies and few of my other projects like where I participated in Smart India Hackathon. They went into detail, asked to be how we approach the problem, the methods of approaching and other different questions. Once I was done with my all the questions on projects, later we had questions on like they started with the computer networks. They asked me different layers, OSI layers. OSI layers are nowadays very important for everyone who are going in the telecommunication field. In detail of OSI layers, later we had on database. They gave me a query, like they gave me a situation in which what type of database I could create and what the query line I could run it and why I could choose that, why not any other. And later once they were done with this, later I had questions on linked list in which they gave me to write a code, pseudo code on linked list and single A linked list and also double A linked list. Gave me a situation based question and then asked me how will you implement linked list on this. Asked me how to reverse a linked list and also sent me to write a pseudo code of that. And once they were done with the linked list, later they came for the sorting algorithms. He sent me to introduce like all the sorting algorithms and how they are different from each other. Time complexity, space complexity. I was able to explain all. I just got it confused a bit in between mud sort and bit sort. But later he clarified me that. And later once after sorting, next was the searching algorithms. And after that he gave me a few more questions, situation based questions on that algorithms and said me to implement on them. Once we had done with that and later again I was asked to write a code. He first said me to write a pseudo code. I was able to write it too, and later few other questions like few other like problem solving type of questions like how we approach it. And one question was like there are different number of socks in a room. There's no light in a room. You enter a room, you come out. How many minimum socks you bring that so that there are equal pair, like equal color pair, and there are currently 4 different color socks in the room. Like this, first I was unable to explain, like understand it. I just repeated the question for him so that he understands that I have understood a lot. He corrected me multiple times and later, at the first sentence I was unable to make it. He made me understand like what he's actually trying to ask. And later he gave me this answer for this question and later similar question he asked, which I was able to answer. Once I was done with all the things, he saw my few more other courses which I did on NPTEL, like programming in Java, Python, and other different things. Once all were done, then that was all about the second technical round. In my third technical round, they asked me, they tried to confuse me with my Java concepts, as all the projects were based on Java. Even in my smart in the hackathon, the Android application which I prepared was on Java itself. So they tried to confuse me with the different concepts, giving you more different concepts in the Java, and trying to confuse me by giving public, private, using these word keys can be accessed in a different class. It's different questions they tried to confuse me a lot, and even he asked me which type of books do you read, how do you learn this, what was your motivation for learning this. I just read few books like Head First Java, Head First Android. They are very famous books, they are very good, user friendly, we can read them, and they are really helpful. And even he suggested me 3 to 4 books which I could read, and it could help me a lot. I've just now completed the one book, and it was really good. It has increased my basic concept.
So what was the name of the book they asked you to read?
It is the book The C Programming Language by Dennis Hitchens, by the who is the origin. He invented the C language. In those books, he has covered many basic concepts which are very good for as a beginners for us. They didn't expect anything very big from us. They expected us to have a very strong on our basics. They even asked questions on the interface. They tried to confuse me that. Even on basic concepts of hooks for spinners on those, and they are inheriting the class, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance. Those in Java are we having multiple inheritance or multi-level inheritance? Why are we using it? Why they are different from C, C++, and all different types of questions I asked. Second round was not too lengthy. I had about 20 to 25 minutes. After that, he asked me about my current, where I was working as an intern in the API company. He asked me about my role in the company, the package, the stipend they offered me, and at the end of all this interview and everything done, he asked me questions like how to manage your studies. And even as ever from the electronics background, they even asked me a few questions on electronics too, like transistors, how we use them, just the basic usage, not in detail, and the basic wire registers, wire capacitors, and all this. And the end of all, they asked me how much have you maintained your SDK, because we're doing multiple things, and I was having the 8.6 and pocket type of SGPA. And after that, it was done with my second round, and later I was having HR round, which was about 10 to 15 minutes, and in which I had to introduce myself. They asked me why have you choose this company, was the major question, and the second question was different companies have visited your campus, and why you are being not pasted in that company. This was the important question, and I was very frank in this. I said the first company I attended was Radisys. I was unable to make it, and another company I just came back from the hackathon I attended immediately, which was BIET, and other companies I missed due to I was participating in the Smart in the hackathon. And after that, they asked a few more about my family background and where I belong and those things. And once it was done, and at 5 o'clock at the evening, I ended my all the complete interview process.
So can you please explain the preparation process, and was it a one-day preparation or the continuous preparation? Please explain everything in detail.
Yeah, man, it was definitely not in one-day preparation. And as we know, we had a lockdown, COVID papers going on. Most of them spend their time seeing web series, seeing movies and all that. During the time, I was saying it, I was not I was completely reading. But I was spending 2-3 hours of coding, trying different. I just started that in Java by reading the book Head First and Head First Java, which I mentioned. And I started by that book. It was suggested by my brother. He's already working on the company. He suggested me to go with that book and read it once, and then started. I just read the book. Not only reading the book, I just tried doing this practically. He has given different examples in the books. I done that. Later, once I started doing it, I got I feel enthusiasm doing it. I was feeling a joy to code and all. I started using Leap Code, HackerRank, and try to solve there, see the problems, what they are facing, what they have given, and answer them. Once I was doing this, I was trying okay, these are it's just a piece of the code now. I want something interactive now. So I chose Android as a platform because it was using Java. So I started Android development later with the same author, and just because I like the way he represented it. So with the same author I started, and I started Android, and that XML part which was similar to HTML and CSS, and I did that during my 10th holidays. In that time, just for 10 hours I did it. So with that reference, I just started under Android development, and initially it was very difficult because I had no one to guide. Even I didn't approach anyone. I will recommend everyone to be shameless in this. Just ask for anyone for the guidance, because guidance is very important. You may be taking up the wrong thing, or and realizing it very late could be later in trouble. So, and I asked for a few of the Android developers, through LinkedIn, and I started doing it. I started with the minor projects. Later, I started making, when I got how these work, I started reading the documentations. From that development, I just learned that we can make most of the information written in the form of documentation itself. Rather than searching it on YouTube or going anywhere, we can just go to the documentation in which they are much clear and much in detail about that. So I require everyone to go to the documentations, and it's not like you cannot understand. It is written in a normal English language, so you can understand it easily.
So who all guided you and motivated you in the entire process?
One is Abhishek, is my other brother, and two more other friends from whom are contributed from other calendars, and two from the LinkedIn, like Manam and Ashley, who are also an Android developer, and one is an UI UX designer. UI UX design is nothing but which can design for the application front end. So these two are the important tools for me, designing with the different situation-based things, which are better to go with the best case scenarios and the worst case, like best options and all these things. And once they helped me out in a few of the basic concepts of Java and other things, those that helped by one brother Abhishek. My friends helped me to apply for internships, internships in internships and Naukri.com and other as well websites through which I got my internship.
Okay, so can you please give some suggestions or guidance to your juniors? You have already shared a lot of technical aspects, but something extra would you like to share with your juniors?
Yeah, man. I have also, many of my juniors are just taking multiple programming language, and they're trying to do that. I never take one, be best in one. Because in company, they gonna ask you if you're best in one language. They will not see how many multiple languages you know. They will see how good you are in the particular language, and how good you are in the data structures and algorithms, the basic concepts of computer networks, operating systems. Other department students can read them. There are many multiple books, and you can spend some more time. Normally from other students, you can spend some extra time. You can get this knowledge, which will be very helpful for the placements too. And even at the end, just children in the case, BIET provided with the placement opportunities, and even though you work hard a lot, and at the end in the college you don't have placements, then it will be very painful, because you need to apply for different companies, go there, and there the competition increases a lot, because you are there competing with the entire world of developers. Here your competition is within your college, and once you are placed, there will also not be the competition too. So here it will get easy, and in that case, your placement coordinators and also the BIT has taken a very important role. They got many multiple companies. Even we all started with the 6 semester, we had multiple companies we got the exposure to. I could really like to thank BIT and the placement league for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you, Rishi, for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you.
Can you tell me about yourself?
I'm Madhura from semester, Information Science and Engineering Department. I have completed my schooling in Shitahar Central School, and I have completed my PUC in Ceramic College, Davangere, and I had obtained PCMC in my PU, which helped me throughout my engineering.
Share your Radisys interview experience with us, Madhuran.
I was the last person who was called in the first round of technical interview. So they asked about completely based what was in the resume. I had done my project on Java and MySQL. So in MySQL, if it comes to database management system, they asked about the queries. They gave a scenario and asked the query based on it, and they asked about the ACID properties. And in Java, from the base, why public static void main will be used, not string we cannot use in that way. Is string used or not used? In that way they asked. And in Java they asked many questions, I had used Java and MySQL, so replace statement why it will be used, and JDBC, what is the full form of it, how will you connect with Java and MySQL, and how the connectors are used. in that way in the first technical interview test, and also the CN questions with voice and word and others questions were asked in the CN.
Alright.
Coming to my second round, the gap between the first round and the second round was very less, around 53 minutes. The first round was taken around 1.5 hours. In the second round, they asked only about the C programming. So I had mentioned in my resume that I am doing the coding in the hacker rank. So they asked only about the C coding. So they asked about the built-in functions like string copy and string concatenation functions, how it will work, and the inner rule, how it works and all. In the second round, and also they gave a scenario and told me to write the code based on it in the same language, which was on structures. So like how will you send fast the right function, structure it in a function, and it was in description to be.
So how is the environment for placements in BIT? Please share your experience, Madhura.
The environment of placement is really good in BIT. Like we around 15 days for offline course were there, like from the talent battle. They taught us about the aptitude and the Java. I learned complete Java over there from the basic. The sir told you very well from the basics to the core. And they also taught us about the data structures in Java in the second semester. And I have also placed in the Cognizant Elevate. There was many workshops from the BIT placement, like Python, and also the DBLS workshop also done from our department, and the soft skills which was held from our department that helped me in communication skills and to clear the HR round.
Alright, thank you, Madhura, and congratulate you once again for getting placed in 2 companies.
Thank you, ma'am.
Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Veera Amantaya. I am from Benchu, currently pursuing my final year in Information Science at Each. We have completed my 10th in Benchu and 12th in Madari. As an IT student, my main goal was to get into a company where I can improve my skill set and explore more and be an asset to the company. And I am happy to share that I am one amongst the 6 students who have got into Radisys.
Share with us your Radisys interview experience.
Okay. Actually, in Radisys recruitment process, there were 4 rounds. But for me, it was 5 rounds. First was, it was an online round, it was a technical assessment round. In which they asked the questions related to C, and the questions here, they give like pseudo force related to C language, and computer networking related questions, and operating system related questions. Second was a technical interview, which was offline mode, which was an offline mode. It was my first interview, which was an offline mode. But actually, I was it was a bit tense how to attend the interview and how can I answer that. But the interviewer was very friendly. He said that there is nothing to worry, you can answer in a friendly way. And we'll ask the questions related to C, Python, because I have mentioned as a technical skill in my resume. And also he asked the questions related to DDMS and the computer network. In computer networking, he asked the questions related to voice and model. The third round was technical interview 2. In technical interview 2, the questions was raised, it was like in-depth questions. They asked for questions related to database management system and computer networking and data structures. They asked me to write the code and explain the code. In 1 minute I was not able to write the code, but they asked me to, if you don't know how to write the code, you can explain the algorithm, and of course what we have used in that code, I have explained them. And they also asked me to solve some puzzles. They asked 2 questions related to computer networking, like difference between a TCP and UDP, where you are going to use them and how you can implement them. And can you write the code related to computer networking? They asked me, but I was not able to write the code to CN. I said I will learn it after the interview. So after completing the second technical interview, there was one more round for me, which was the technical interview 3. There was a tie in between me and some other students who cracked the second interview.
So this was an extra round for only selected students.
Test map paper was about 15 minutes. They asked me questions related to data structures. And after completing my third technical interview round. The next round was HR round. In HR round, they asked me to introduce yourself at a fairly background related questions. And they asked me your communication skills and you have to improve your communication skills. How you wanna do that? So I say they also I have answered that they were like I will speak with my friends in English from onwards, and I will watch some English web series and movies, and I will make some articles, blogs, etc.
Nice.
That's all.
Tell me something about the placement environment in BIT.
Okay. In my first year, the only companies visiting to our college were service-based companies, but year by year, our placement centers work so hard to get the product-based companies, and most of them were their companies. So they will watch opportunities for us. So I would like to thank Placement Cell and BIT for providing so many opportunities in our placement channel.
Thank you, Veera Hanumantaya.
Thank you.
It's a bye from all of us.